This conference will now be recorded.
So we discussed what are the types of constructors like zero parameter and one parameter constructor, and we have seen some of the examples with zero parameter and one parameter constructors as well. And we have just seen how what is the usage of this keyword, right? So and this with parentheses and this with this keyword. So you'll be using this keyword when the local variable name and your instance variable names are same, and you'll be using this with parenthesis keyword when you want to call from like another constructor without creating an object, right? So I'm just sharing the screen. So this is what I'm telling, like when you want to call another parameter constructor without creating an object, you'll be using this with brackets. So which is going to call this two parameter again. When you want to call one parameter, that one parameter you'll be passing, and there is a this keyword, that's a this keyword which is used to refer the current object. In when we'll be using is nothing but when you want, when your local variable names and your instance variable names are same. If you see this mpm empid and empid, so in this case the local variable and these names are same. So to make the differentiation we'll be using this keyword. And we have seen like the constructor, like for every class there will be a zero parameter constructor or a default constructor in every class, which is like your compiler is going to write that constructor for you. But the case is nothing but your class should not have any constructor. If the class is containing a constructor, your compiler is not going to write the constructor. So I think we have just seen with an examples also. If I'm writing with one parameterized constructor and if I'm trying to create an object with the zero parameter, it is going to throw me an error. Why? Because if your class is having any one of the constructor, your compiler is not going to write neither zero or one. So constructors, okay. And today we'll be discussing about the access specifiers and like the interface like abstraction, this OOPS concepts actually. So before that, we'll be starting with an access specifiers. So generally, you'll be having three access specifiers, not three, like four access specifiers. Access specifiers, or I can call them as access modifiers also. Anything is fine. Okay. You'll be having one is like public, second one is private, and default and protected. 1 minute, please. Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me right? Okay. So that's what we discussed yesterday. And like when it comes to this access specifiers, so there are like four access specifiers like private, public, private, default, and protected. And they are like modified into two levels. One is at class level and one more is at method level. So class level access specifiers, class level in the sense I can able to apply this access specifiers at the class level only. So it means I cannot able to apply them at the uh, method level. So public and default. So I cannot write private or protected at the class level. If I'm trying to write, I'll tell why that error get thrown and why I cannot able to write. Once you understand, you'll be getting to know why I cannot able to write. So if I'm trying to write a private and protected class level, so it will be throwing me an error. So for a method level, it will be four: public, private, protected. All this can be written at the method level. Okay. Uh, so this is like before any method or a class, I can able to write this access specifier. So first we'll be seeing about a class level, right? So I'll be creating a separate class for that. I don't want to is it here. Is someone asking something? No, right? Fine. Okay. I'm just taking a class called A. Mm, not sure why it is taking time. It should not. Okay. So this class A, for this class A, you see what is this access specifier? Public. So as I told, there are two access specifiers that can able to apply at a class level. One is like public and one more is like default. So if I remove this access specifier, this is nothing but a default. So if I keep it, so if I do not write anything, that will be your public. And if I remove, that will be your default access specifier. So what is mean by public access specifier? So public is something. So here this can be accessible public. When you write an access specifier as public, this can be accessible within the package, or I can say within the package and outside the package. Outside the package. So here what does the package mean, right? So here package is nothing but a group of classes. So if you see, this is nothing but a default package that I have created, but I can able generally I'll be creating a package, and under that a package I can able to have a classes. Okay. So you will get a better understanding why you need a package is nothing but whenever you do a real time applications, right? So you cannot keep everything at one place, right? You may have some different modules, right? So for example, ordering module or something like booking module. So you can create a package called booking, so where that you will be having all the classes related to booking. So similarly, you will be creating a class called orders, right? So that is a package, that is nothing but a set of classes. So under that you will be having the set of classes which is related to ordering that application, ordering of your application. So the, in simple words, package is nothing but, I can say, a group of classes, in the simple words. Is a group of classes. Yeah. Here I'm going to create a one more package, right? So new, it will have an option called to create a package. So I'm just taking a package called pack2. So this is simple name of an package I'm giving it. So you have a default package and a package 2, and I'm creating a class called b here. Okay. So what is the access specifier for this package class is also public. So what is the access specifier for a class? It is also public. So for A, the access specifier is public. For B also, the access specifier is public. Okay. And I'm just having a main method. Assume that I want to create the object of this B. Why I need to create this object of B? So assume that I have an M1 method. M1 inside package B. Okay. When you want to access this class, when you want to call the M1 method which is present in B, right? What I should be doing it? Can someone? So this is a non-static method, right? So this is a non-static method. As I told, how you will be calling a non-static method. So we have discussed this in the beginning of the classes, right? As I told, every class is interlinked, right? So if you remember, this is the first class that we discussed. I don't know that example was there or we have just removed it. I just overridden that example, but there is one example, right? We have discussed where you will be when you have a non-static method like in M1 or M2. So how I'll be calling that non-static method? No one? Assume that there is an M2 here. Okay. So I want to call this method. So how I'll call this M2? Can I call directly M2?
Mm. A dot into
Like you are getting A dot M2 something like that. But I,
I think
as
we
I told,
create
like
tab.
in earlier, yes, as I told in earlier, right? You need to create an object. So why? Because this is a non-static method. To call the non-static method, you need object creation. So object creation is must to call the non-static method. I'm right. So this is how I'll create an object and the reference variable a dot m2 I'll be calling it. This is fine, right? Please try to go with the recordings or please try to do the practice because your every class is very important and which is for sure it is going to get linked with other classes. Okay. So this is how you call the non-static method. Similarly, what I'm trying to ask is nothing but you have a B, right? So there is a B class which is present in different package, that is pack2. There is one more, one is default package, one is B is present in default package sorry, the B is present in pack2 and the A is present in default package. And I have a method called M1 which is present in the class B, right? And when you want to call this M1, so what I need to do, the object I need to create. Which object I need to create? B object I need to create. Why? Because this M1 is present in B. I want to call the M1 method which is present in the B from A, class A, not from B. From class A, I want to call M1 which is in B. So for that, I need to create the B class. Is this fine? Why I am creating this B class? Call the M1 method which is present in the package B. Are you getting me? Okay. And this is like import statement. Why? Because if it is you, if when you are trying to access in the same class, that is not an issue. But when you are trying to, this B is present in which package? It is present in pack2. That is the reason it is asking to import that class. So I'm just doing an import. Okay, by doing an import, I can able to call B dot. So why I cannot able to call this M2 is because there is another reason I'll tell. But if you want to call, you should be having this as a public access specifier. I'll get you get this clear. B dot M1. So M1 inside pack B. So I was able to get this output, right? Why I can able to what I'm doing here is nothing but importing. I'm importing the class B from package 2. So if your class if your package is having many classes, right, then you can just simply put it as star. So it means if you keep it as star, so if a package B is having pack2 is having 10 classes, all the 10 classes will get imported to class A in class A. But I do not want all the 10 classes from pack2. I want only one particular class. Then I can able to specify that particular class. So in this case, I'm just specifying this particular class. So I'm just doing an import from this B class from pack2. And why I can able to access this B is the access specifier for a B is public. So that is a reason. This means, as I told, if an access specifier is public, it can be able to access within the package or and outside the package, right? Anywhere you can able to do the access. So that is the reason B can be accessed in for a class A which is available in default package. You are getting me right? So this A is in different package, that is default package, and B is in different package, that is pack2. So A that is present in default package can able to access the B which is present in package 2. The reason is it is with the access specifier as public. Is it confusing or clear? You can just go with the example. Hello, is someone
Yeah, clear,
trying to
Surya.
speak
Clear.
something?
Yeah, clear, Surya.
Oh, okay. And there is one more access specifier that is like default, right? So as I told, there is two access specifiers. One is like public and one more is default. So whenever it is default, so the accessibility, the meaning you can able to understand that you can able to access. The accessibility is only within the package. So I cannot able to access that particular class outside the package. Okay, just go through this, you get it. And I think you are clear with this, right? And if it is a default, you cannot able to access outside the package. That's what I'm trying to tell. So if you see here, if I remove this public, if you see it is a public, right? So I can able to do that access and there is no errors, right? And if I remove this default, sorry, if I remove this public, so if before a class, if you have a public, that is like public access specifier, and if you are not having any access specifier, that means it is a default. Okay, so that is a reason in this case you cannot able to do the access, and if you are trying to do, it is showing me an error like a cannot be defined, even it is not giving an import option, right? So before it has given an import option, in this case it is not giving me an import option as well. Add a parameter b, so this is like some different like suggestion it is getting shown. Before case it has given a suggestion to do the import. So if you see, just I add a public over here, then it will show me an option called import. Why? Because here the access specifier is public, which can able to be accessed, but if it is default you cannot able to do an access. So now it is default, so you cannot do an access. It's showing me an error. So whenever the access specifier is default, so then which can be able to do an access? So for example, in the pack2, I'm creating a class called C. Okay. So what is the access specifier? This is default, right? And here it is C, and I'm having a main method. Can I able to access? Can I able to create a B class in this C or not? For sure, I cannot create it in A, right? It is giving me an error. Why I cannot create in an A? The access specifier is default. It means it is accessible only within the package. So the package here is this B is present in pack2, this A is present in default package. So that is the reason I cannot access B from A class, which is in different package. Now, but what I'm telling, I created a class C within the same package, right? So in this case, can I able to create an object of B?
Yes.
Yes, because it is within the package. And I can able to access the methods also, you can see. And in this case, you see there is no import option, because the import option is will come, the import option is needed whenever you are referring with two different packages. In this case, B and C belongs to same package, that is pack2. That is the reason you do not have any import option as well. Okay. And you can able to access that methods present over there also, and you will be getting an output. Hope you are clear with this access specifiers public and default at a class level. Is this clear? Then we'll go with method level access specifiers, this four again: public, private, protected, default. Okay, hope no doubts, then it is clear. Same way, as of now I'm making it as again public. It means it can able to be accessible. Importing that. So the public is same. Whatever you see for the concept for the access specifiers that you have seen for the class level, the same rule applies for a method level also. you can see there is a class B, and you can see there is a method called M1 which access specifier is public. So that is the reason I can able to access this M1, right? So please make sure that whatever I am discussing, you can see the package. A is in package default package, B is in package 2. Okay. I have a method called void M3. So this is something like default package in package in B. Sorry, default
Default
method.
method.
Default method. Sorry. Inside M3. I'm just writing. So can I able to access this M3 from class A? So from class A, I can call M1 method. Why? Because the access specifier is public. So from class A, can I call M3 method or not?
No.
No. Why?
No.
Because the access specifier is default, so it is cannot be exactly whatever you are told is right. No, you cannot call it. So when you are trying to call M3, it will show me an error. So if I go to class A, you can see I created a object B. Why? Because it is public. That is fine, fantastic. And you can able to call M1 method because it's public, which is in different package. But if you just try to call B dot M3, what happens? It will throw an error. Even you can see this, it is not even giving you the suggestion as well. So it will say that the method M3 cannot be, it is not visible. So the visibility is not present over here. It means the access specifier is not there. The moment I make it as public, for example, if I make it as public, you can, if you see, error just gone. Okay. And if it is default, where it can be accessible in class C, B dot M3. So the conceptual wise, there is no difference with the public and default for a method level, for a class level. So it is like class is nothing but you create an object. For a method is nothing but you call it. So if it is a if you declare an public access specifier to class level, so that object can be created it within the package and outside the package. If you declare a access specifier to a method level, so that method can be called wherever, like within the package and outside the package also that method can be called. If it is default, it can be called only within the package. Okay. Now the next thing is private and protected. Okay. So whenever I make a private method, right? So for this, if I am trying to make a method called private, so if the access specifier is private, so if whatever I declared before a method, that is nothing but your private. So this method can be only accessible within the class. So if you are trying to call this method from another class, which is in the same package also, it will not allow. So only this method can be accessible only within the class. From another method, from other method only I can call it. From M3 I can call this M4. Okay. From M1 I can call this M4. But you cannot call this private method outside the class. The accessibility is only within the class. Inside private M4 method. ఏమొద్దు ఇప్పుడు తర్వాత. So which is inside uh, private M4 method. So for example, you can see this is a class C, right? So this class C is within the package only. But if I'm trying to call p.m4, it will throw an error. It is not even visible. You can see it is not visible. Why? Because A and B are in both in the same package. But why you cannot call M4? Because the access specifier is private over here. Okay. And even if it is not possible within the package itself, is it possible outside the package? For sure, no, right? So within the package itself is not possible. So how can you call outside the package? It is not. So it will throw me an error. Is this fine, right? Please stop me whenever you have some queries. Okay. And there is one more access specifier, that is your protected. So if I declare something as protected, so here for this you need to have an understanding of like child parent relationship. So just I'll be holding this protected as of now, because after when you understand this child parent, like when like after inheritance concept, I'll be explaining this protected. So I think inheritance is like when you have a child and parent relationship, so we'll cover that. So like in tomorrow's class also, when I'm trying to tell that inheritance concept, I'll be explaining this protected keyword. Okay, but I hope you're clear with this all these three access specifiers, right? Private, public, and default. Any queries in this?
No.
Okay. As I told, like we'll be seeing what is an abstract and what is an inheritance. So abstract is something before learning about interface and this thing, we need to understand abstract class or abstract method. So generally every method will have a body and a logic, right? So if you see this m1 method and m2 method, every method is having a logics and a body. For example, if I declare a method and without the body, then I can call that method as nothing but an abstract method. So what's an abstract method is nothing but abstract method. So abstract is a keyword in Java. If a method declared without body, means there is no logic in it. It means no logic. Wait. So this is next syntax void m1. So you just end with semicolon. You see there is no logic, like there is no body in it, and So generally how you write a method like this, right? So you write a method, declare a method and open parenthesis and low parenthesis where you have a body. So this is nothing but your normal methods. But a method without body, you call that as an abstract methods. This is nothing but my abstract method. And for an abstract method, you should have a keyword called abstract before the method. And so similarly, you will be having an abstract class. So for a method, you declare an abstract keyword before the method that calls an abstract method. So similarly, for a class, if you write an abstract keyword before the class, that will be called as an abstract class. So you have an abstract methods and abstract classes. So in a method without logic, you call it as an abstract method, and you will be having a keyword called abstract. And in a classes, you have generally, as of now, we have seen normal classes, right? Like a employee class or whatever the classes that we have seen. Class A, class B. These are nothing but all the normal classes we have seen. But in Java, you have something like abstract classes. For a class, before a class, if you write a keyword called abstract, then it becomes as an abstract class. Okay. So I'll just create an example of abstract. Ex of an abstract. I'm just creating an example of an abstract class. So if I write a keyword called abstract for a class, this is nothing but my abstract class. And what is a method? So an abstract method, abstract void m3. So this is my abstract method and this is my abstract class. And an abstract class can have a normal methods as well. So it means I can declare a method. So you see, this is a method where it's a normal method, right? Where you have a body, right? But you cannot able to write an abstract keyword here. So it will throw an error. So if you specify an abstract, it should not have a body. Okay. And there is a condition like an abstract class can have only the normal methods, but it is not the convention. It means I can have zero abstract methods in an abstract class. So your compiler will not throw any error. Okay. So if you see, this is an abstract class, but there is no abstract methods in it. Okay. It is not the convention. If you declared a class as an abstract, for sure you should be writing an abstract methods, but still, if you do not write also, your compiler will not throw an error, but vice versa will throw an error. What do you mean by vice versa? It means for a normal class. So this employs a normal class. So in this normal class, if I'm trying to write an abstract method, it will throw an error for me. So abstract void some m5. So you can see an error. The abstract method M4 of in an employee type can be defined by an abstract class. It is, I think it is understandable, right? So if you are writing an abstract method, for sure the class should be an abstract. So abstract methods cannot be written in a normal class. As vice versa is possible. So an abstract class can contain normal methods as well, and only normal methods. But if you are having an abstract method, for sure the class should be an abstract. An abstract methods cannot be written in a normal classes. Okay. You may get it out, right? So generally, why you need this abstract methods, and I'll give with some real-time examples. But as of now, you understand an abstract method will not have a body, right? So a method is something where it need to be having a logic, right? So for a class, if you write an abstract method, so this is an abstract method, a class. So then who is going to have the implement, who is going to have the like the implementation of this class, sorry, implementation of this method. So some body need to be written, there should the some body should be there in a method, right? So in this method there is no body, then who is going to have the body, who is going to write the body, for which class is going to write the body? So the class which implements this abstract method, sorry, extends this abstract class, will be writing the logic for it. Okay. So as I told, I just told you, right, you have a concept called inheritance. So there is a concept called inheritance in Java. So what is this inheritance is nothing but whenever you have two classes, so assume that the two classes have similar properties. There is a class A and a class B, and which is having similar properties. Okay. But your class B is having some few extra properties, right? In that case, it is not required you to write all that five properties again, right? So for example, your class A is having five properties. Okay. And you have a class B which is having seven properties. So seven properties in the sense you have five functionalities in one class, and you have seven functionalities in this class, right? So among the seven functionalities, there are five functionalities which are same like your class B, sorry, class A, right? So I'm just trying to repeat it. Your class B is having seven functionalities. This in these seven functionalities, out of the seven functionalities, five functionalities are similar to the functionalities which is present in A, right? And there are only two different functionalities your class B is having. So in this case, if you are trying to have this two classes, and this two classes is not having any relationship, so how many methods you are writing? Total 5 plus 7, 12 methods you are writing, right? So you are wantedly repeating like you're repeating five methods similarly, right? These five methods that you have, same functionalities you are repeating in class B also, right? So to avoid this thing, you have a concept called inheritance. So when there is two or some more classes which is sharing some set of properties same, then you can have a concept of inheritance. It means one class can extend another class. Here in this case, what I can say, B extends A. I can do like this. So whenever I say B extends A, it means your B is nothing but the child class and A is nothing but your parent. So what I told you, B needs seven properties. But that from that seven properties, there are five properties already your A is having. So in this case, what you can do is nothing but it is not required you to write that five properties. Only you will be writing that two properties which are extra in B. Two properties or two functionalities, or two functionalities, right? So all other five properties or five functionalities will be getting from A. This is like your child will get parent properties. B is nothing but your child and A is nothing but your parent. Here extends is a keyword that used to create the relationship between one class to another class. So the left side class is nothing but my child, and right side class is nothing but your parent. So it is similar concept like how we as a child will get a parent properties, right? Parent functionalities, right? So child will not parent will not get the child things, child functionalities or child properties. but child will get the parent properties. In the same way, your P is a child which will get the A properties. Okay, is this clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So how you are doing a relationship between these two classes is nothing but by using a keyword called extends. So here, as I told, I'm coming to the abstract topic again. So here, as I told, you have a method called M3, which is an abstract method. So generally, why you write a method to have a body, right? So in this case, your M3 is not having a body. So who is responsible for providing the logic for this body? Sorry, logic for this M3 method. So the class which extends this abstract method. So for example, I'm just writing a class abstract extension. Abstract example child. So this is a class, child class of this ex abstract. So how I can make the relationship between these two classes? I want to be this to be a child. So as I told, I'll be using an extends keyword, extends and the class name. This is nothing but your. So now in this case, who is my parent? Ex abstract is the parent and abstract example is the child. So as I told, so we have an abstract method without body in the this class. So who is responsible for providing the logic for this method is nothing but the class which extends this abstract class. Now who is responsible? Your abstract ex child is responsible for providing the logic for M3 method. As the moment you see I write an extends keyword, it is showing me an error. So you can see that error, you can just type read whatever I told, you can able to understand. The type abstract x child must implement the inherited abstract method ex.abstract3 m3. So there is one abstract method in this class that is m3. So that should be implemented, that should be overriding. There should be some overriding for this particular class. So add an implemented method. So you call this as nothing but your overriding. So I'll tell what is overriding and overloading little more clear. But see here, I'll just tell as a concept came right, overriding. So overriding is something where you write a method same as the method with same name and same signature. You have two concepts. You will be having two concepts in Java. One is like overriding and overloading. Overriding. Overriding is nothing but you will be having a same name, same method name and same signature and same signature. Here signature can be anything. What I can say, signature can be your return type, can be the number of parameters, order of the parameters. Okay, so anything can be, you can call it as signature. So when you do overriding, you will have same name and same signature. So like the return type and the number of parameters and the order of parameters, everything, or the type of the parameters, everything will be the same. Okay. So you see what is this what is this method here M3? What is the return type of this? Is void. So what are the number of parameters? Zero. So when you do overriding, you done with the same thing. Void M3 and zero parameters. There is no difference, you see, with M3 in EX abstract and M3 which is present in abstract EX child. So this is nothing but your overriding. Overriding is nothing but writing the same class, same method with the same name and same signature. You do this overriding only in child and parent relationships, right? Whenever you have a child, that you override the parent method. So you see this method M3 is from parent. As I told, this is the parent, this is a child, and you're doing overriding from parent to child. So overloading is something where you have same name and different signature. So I can write overridden method M3. Okay. And if I have one more abstract method, so something like M5, so it will show again error. So you should understand what is this error. It is saying again override M5. If you override, that error will go. So it means if an abstract class is having 10 abstract methods, right? That implemented class or like the child class which extends the abstract class should have override all that 10 methods. So for example, if I add one more method like M6 or M7, even that method should be overridden, right? If I have 10 methods, the 10 methods, 20 methods, 20 methods. So it is not required to override this M4. It is not mandatory. Why? M4. Why? Because it is not an abstract method. So that is the reason it is not required to override this M4 here. Okay. Are you clear with this abstract class and abstract methods and overriding concepts, overriding and like these conceptuals? Okay. We see even I think you are clear with this overriding also, right? So same name, same method name and signature. And overloading is nothing but same name but different signature. You call that as overloading. That is like same name and different signature. So this can be done within the class. So for example, I have a void m1 method or void m2 method. So I can have a same name, but I can have a different signature here. Signature is, as I told, number of parameters or order of parameters or anything or type of the parameters. So this is nothing but overriding. You see, have a M2, same name is there, but you see there is a different parameter. Here is zero parameter. Here is nothing but one parameter. This is called nothing but your overriding. You can see that overriding in, I can do it in any one of the example. So if I see,
Overloading, right?
so yes, overloading. Sorry, confused, sometimes confusing with words. So you see there is overloading I do within a class. So if I have a class B and I have an m3 method, right? So which is of zero parameters, so similarly I can write a same name with, so if you do overriding within the class it will throw an error. You can see this m3 and 3, the method name is same in overloading but the signature is different. Here you see it is, the signature differ with the number of parameters. Here which is zero parameter, here it can be with one parameter. So the difference can be with the number of parameters or with the type of the parameter or the order of parameter. Anything can be the different. Okay. For example, order if I say, or the number I can say. So we have one parameter here, also one parameter, right? So, but if I have here int comma string, here it is two parameters, here it is of two parameters, here it is of one parameter. But if I say here it of string s comma int p, so this is also overriding. Why? Because the order is different, the number is same. M3 is also having two parameters, in the M3 also having two parameters, but here it is int comma string, here it is string comma int. So the order is different. So this is also you call it as overloading. Anyone can be differ also, you call it as overloading. Is this clear? What is the difference between overloading and overriding?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I think we'll wind up the class if no queries, if anything. Okay. Thank you all. Winding up the session.
Thank you, sir.